Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Hopefully this is working. We'll see how it goes. You see me looking on the side, I'm keeping an eye on the tech. It's been 3 weeks. No, it's been a couple of months since I've had a live stream going. If you're watching along live, say hello in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't know if there's a thing you can do there. But sure, whatever. Yeah, it's been a couple of months since I streamed. Took a break for the summer because my back garden gets sun and I'd rather be sitting getting drunk in my back garden than sitting behind a computer and getting drunk during the summertime, obviously. I'm rambling, fuck it. But it's yeah, I'm gonna kick us off again. It's kind of getting into the kind of autumn time. Nights are getting darker. There's not as much sun. I live in Northern Ireland, so we only get sun for like 2 weeks of the year. And I decided, I thought it would be a good thing to, like, I've been really buzzing off White Russians recently, so I thought I'd make a wee kind of pre-stream White Russian, which turned into 3 White Russians, so I'm already a little bit drunk, and I have a bottle of wine that I'm going to try and drink during the stream, so it's going to be fun. But again, if you're following along, if you're watching at home, give me a shout. You're probably going to, I'm going to need your help to like debug this stuff as I'm coding. Ooh. Tasty. Now, I say White Russian, like, I get like the traditional White Russian has cream in it, but I'm not going to buy cream for like a White Russian that I'll kind of have like maybe once or twice a week. I'm more of like, I have milk for my cereal, I'll use the milk for the White Russian. So let's get things started. Hopefully everything is going. I can see like the number, like the kind of gauges peaking and troughing and stuff. So we're going to start off with our wine. You can see the camera, it's too bright. But we've got a nice, I thought I'd change things up. I used to do a Merlot, or I used to do, there's a local store here, Tesco's, well, local to our country, and they do a wine that's just literally called red wine, and fruity red wine. So like I might step things up, and I'm going for something. It's called Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc, bold and spicy. I like sriracha, so maybe I'll like the spicy wine. Then I get the ASAMRA. I can't pronounce that word because I'm the dyslexic developer. Oh, that sounds good. Sounds good. So we'll crack it out, and it's red wine from the fridge because red wine tastes great from the fridge. Don't listen to people who insist that it has to come from like a warm room temperature. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. So if you're new to the channel, I know it's been a while, so maybe I've had some new people subscribe to me and follow me. I'm the dyslexic developer, and this is Hello Drunk World. The aim of this is I have either had an idea or seen something that sparked an idea, and I'm going to code this in maximum an hour because I realize I can't last longer than that. And I'm going to try and write some code, build something that does something while also drinking a full bottle of red wine when I do it. So I get drunk, I stumble, I fall. We have a laugh along the way. It's a good kind of way to show that, not everyone's this perfect developer you see online. So I keep on looking down and even looking at the camera. And for some reason I can never get my lighting sorted, so I look like I have a red face, but I don't. It's the lighting, it's not me. So this stream is going to be on the JavaScript Array.at method. And I've seen a lot of tweets about this recently. It was added to the spec. From what I can see, it's actually supported by all browsers, which is really cool. So I'm going to kind of look at that, look at what was there before, what, like how we would have done it before. But in the essence, what I want to do is I want to see if I can code my own version of that array method. If you've been in the world of JavaScript for a while and you've been working with libraries, you'll know, like you'll have heard of Lodash or underscore. More probably Lodash. Underscore seemed to disappear out of nowhere. But it was like a library that had a bunch of utilities that did different things. So like you had like a map and a filter and a reduce, and those things slowly got added to the actual language itself. I don't know if there is an at method. We'll look whenever we get onto the screen. But someone built their version of a map and their version of a filter using the existing language that was there to give like this like really handy, quick to use library function. And at is kind of doing the similar thing. It's filling one of those needs where people wanted to say, I wanted to get this value at that index. Ooh, excuse me, the milk is coming back on me. And I thought it'd be really cool to see if, like, you know, the library adds these methods and they kind of help us out. But like, we could probably do that without using at. This is not a thing. This is not a convention or not a thing of saying like, you know, don't use at. This is more of an exploration of like, you know, how, if I was going to do this myself, how would I do it? It's also a brilliant interview question. Well, maybe an interview take-home exercise, but then I hate take-home exercises. But I don't know, if someone could probably talk about it in an interview, like, yeah, they'd probably be good. So, that wine is tart. So right, we're going to jump over to our screen if I can remember the key combination. Yeah, okay, I got it. So this is what kind of drove my idea and thought for a second. This, you can probably hear the chair squeaking. My dog's in the background. She'll probably start barking as well. So it's not a professional shop here. So recently, the JavaScript at method was added, and it's added to arrays, and I think as well as added to strings. We're going to tackle arrays first. Maybe we could tackle strings. We can think about that at the end. But Wes Boss kind of really summed it up really well in this tweet and gave some like, you know, really good concrete examples. And I think we're going to use this as our test examples of what we're going to work off. And I'm actually going to use I'm going to write unit tests for this because I think that's the kind of the easiest way to like verify we're doing and achieving what's going on. I'm very much with the hands at the minute, but I think if we go down the right of like write our own add function, write unit tests to prove that it works, and then that kind of verifies like, you know, we could build our own add function that does the similar to this. So in this example, we've got an array of toppings: pepperoni, cheese, mushrooms. Well, that makes a good pizza. Then, as Wes Boss kind of points to, like, so the old way of doing this would be toppings, and toppings, like if I want to get the last one. So toppings, brackets, toppings.length -1, that gives me the last item in the array. However, if we're using at, we can pass it a negative number, and then that'll give us that value. So it's like -1 is the last one. I assume -2 is the second last, -3 is the third last, or 0 is the first, 1 is the second, 2 is the third. So let's see if we can build something that does this. I'm going all out, and I'm going to try and use CodeSandbox because it has built-in jest testing into it. It could fail. I haven't practiced this with the previous streams I've practiced before, but fuck it, it's a new stream, new year, not necessarily new me, but we'll give this a try. And I have my light on at the minute, and it's warm, and my hair is not playing ball either as well, so it's going to be a fun rubbing my face, scratching my beard experience. So let's look at what we have so far. So we're in CodeSandbox, brilliant online IDE that you kind of code, prototype, do whatever you need. You have it as your full development environment. It's more than VS Code in the cloud. We have an index file which came with it. This is all junk. We're going to delete this, and then I created like an at.test.js file, and this is going to be testing our code. The minute we have like a sample test, it says expect 1 equal 1. If I change this to 2, the tests will be run. Say it failed. So then I fix this to be 1, and they pass. So then we have our index file. So we're going to get rid of all this, and this is where we're going to build our add function. So we're going to say const, and it's already started. I can't type. So const at equals new function, and so initially we're just going to do a function that we can call and pass an array, and it's going to give us the value back. Then we can potentially look at putting this on the array prototype, but we'll start off with at. What's the complaining about? At is assigned but never used. That's fine, that's fine. And I'm working in the kind of node. I'm assuming, well, this is a parcel project, so we can do imports and exports, I think, as an ES6 pattern. And then we'll say ARR is our array, so we can probably get rid of our brackets. And the only thing is this is going to have its own prettier and ESLint settings that don't really match mine in my head, but I think we can probably work around that. So at the minute we can just say return our array, and then we'll go to export. Will we do export default? Yeah, we'll do default. At. So then in our tests, we should then be able to say import at from /index.js. And we're not using it yet, so we'll say sample at test, and then we'll say expect at pass an array of 1 and 2 dot 2 equal the array 1 and 2, which, yeah, okay, that passes. So that's satisfied our test. We kind of went through like a red-green refactor cycle method. So let's start off the first half of our at prototype drink time. The thing is, I'm drinking and I'm not on the side because that's where the chat is. We got one viewer. Come on, fire in a comment. Don't be lurking. As I type, welcome everyone to that one person. So let's tackle like the kind of like what I imagine like the first half of this is I have an array. If I give at, so I need to give at an array and then an index, and I would say give me the value at that index, which is super fucking easy. Well, yes, it should be super easy. So now we change our signature to be like this, array and index, and to satisfy our requirements I can just say that. So now this is failed undefined, so got undefined back. So then we can change this up to say our add method now takes an index, and our index passes 0. Passes 0, that should return us 1. So now it passes. That's, I guess, right. So should return, let's start naming our test properly. Turn positive index, and that's what it does. Then should return negative, that's probably not spelled right, negative index. So if I pass it -1, I expect 2. So now we have that failing test. So how do we change the implementation to allow us to do that? I haven't prepped for this at all, and this is kind of like an idea in my head. Well, it's not the idea in my head is it would be nice to build this. I have no fucking clue how to build this, so now we're going to try it. So this will always give us a positive index or undefined if it doesn't exist. So what we can say is, if the number is positive, I guess so. So if index is greater than, because 0 is 0 positive? Yeah, 0 is positive because it's the first index. So greater than or equal to 0, then it's positive. So then we can just return this. Else return undefined. But Finn is going to actually be very quick stream, because it's kind of come together flowing. But then we'll go into the whole prototype thing. So we're still passing our first test. We've got one passed. Let's look at our total. Can we see all of them? It sucks that, like, I suppose we don't need to see the tests that pass. We can see the tests that fail. So should return a negative index is still failing, which is fine because we're still returning our positive index, which is good. So then we want to say, obviously, right, okay, at this point we know it's either -1 or below. So we say, actually, okay, yeah, right. So how do we turn a positive or a negative number into a minus number? Because I know what I want to do. So I want to say return array bracket length array dot length minus, and then in here I want this is going to be minus number as a positive num. And that's going to give us the reverse effect. I think so. So now we need to say, how do we turn a minus into positive? So Java JavaScript -2 convert minus to plus. I'm hoping they're thinking number wise. Yeah, convert a negative number to a positive one. You can use this math.abs abs. What does abs do? Returns the absolute value of a number. That is, it returns x if x is positive or 0, and the negation of x is x if negative. God, I got washed like a little white. So if in doubt, log it out. So math.abs of 1 minus 1 minus 100. Okay, so it just gives you the value of the number, not the negative or minus of it. So what we can say is math.abs index. Yeah, so they put in -1. We want to send the length of it -1, which gives us the last value. If they put in -2, it's the length of it -2. So we can get rid of that last return. I don't know why I put a new line in there. Both tests pass. So let's go back to Wes Boss's example. So we've done -1. We haven't done 0. Oh, we have done 0. We have done 0. -2. So let's say copy our test, create a new one. Should return negative index again, that's fine. So we're going to say -2. It's going to fail. Expected 2, received 1. Change this to 1. Passing. That was surprisingly easy to build that up. Does Lodash have an at? Because I'm curious to see the code for it. Array, blah, 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 blah. I don't think I see it in an MDM package. So there was Lodash.at. I'm curious to see how they're handling it. This is Lodash repository. There you go. At equals object paths base at object flatten paths. Jesus Christ. So let index, let paths, array, skip. Yeah, there's obviously there's use cases I'm not handling for this, but I think at the moment we're passing our test. Like I give it an index that's positive, it gives me an index, or negative. I give it an index that's negative and gives me the result, or undefined. So actually, if I grab this, let's do this. Should return a positive. Should return index. If I say undefined and the index is passes, and let's do the same for our negative. I'm going to copy and paste it and define because I couldn't be fucked typing it out again. And then if I say -1 whatever, it's going to be undefined. Okay, we're passing. Because weirdly, it was like we were able to build that very quickly. Okay, so that's fine. So we built that. But we have this function where they pass the array, pass the index, and then get the value back. We want this native to the array object, as we would expect. So, as far as I understand, at currently exists. So we do a test for that. So we can say expect to be instance of function, I guess. A capital F for function. Okay, so add exists. So we can't add, well, we could add at to the array method. We probably really shouldn't. That's where the whole smishgate came from. I keep forgetting. Keep on the drinking, keep on the drinking. Oh, it's tart. So if at exists, we're going to create an array method called drunk at. I was going to say Chris at, but drunk at. Drunk at sounds better. So you can do that. Can we do this in ES6? Import, export. Yes, we can. I think I'm pretty sure we can. So we can say array.prototype. So when we do array.prototype, we can add our own methods. So we can add drunk equals console.log I'm drunk. What do you complain about? Array prototype is read only. It probably should not be added. It's not read only though. Because if I then go back to our test and copy this, does drunk exist? We can say, I keep forgetting I'm not in an editor and I can't like alt tab to another thing. If I go back here and then say drunk is an instance of a function, that passes because drunk now exists on the array prototype. So once this function, or once this file has been imported, from then onwards, every array now has a drunk method on it. Like the console log is fucking killing me. Unexpected, blah, 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 blah. But if I think if I call this, so if I say yes, so it prints out the console as well, which is really cool. So now we have added a new method to the array prototype. I guess like disclaimer, never do this. Never do this. This is the worst idea ever to do. And this is why, like, I don't know, like, if you're watching along and the whole, like, Smooshgate, where it was like they needed a flatten method, but MooTools had already created a flatten method and then added it to the array prototype. So if they added a flatten method to the array prototype, that would mean any application running on any modern browser that was built with MooTools would then break because that flatten was not the same as their flatten. So then I think they called it like flat map or something shit like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So now let's actually like add this to the array. So we can say, well, first actually, so I assume, I haven't done this in a long time, so I assume the first argument is going to be this. Or is it? So I'm going to say args and print out args, which is undefined. So I'm assuming I'm going to, if we bracket this and then say this dot log, it's going to be autocorrect. No, it's not. We're going to say console dot log this undefined. I'm expecting like an empty array. So take that away. This is still undefined. Args obviously is not going to be undefined anymore. So I'm trying to think, because we're already on that array, there's a way to then access the values on that array. So let's see. Array prototype. Now, custom function. How do we add a custom? Add custom functions to blah 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 blah. So bar from here. Array to program.fee equals 1. That's not really what I'm looking for. Object.define property array sort f gives you a function to compare. So concat this. So this is something. Return this dot 0. So yeah, it's this. This is what we're looking for. I don't know why this is undefined. We're also using an arrow function which sets the, what do you call it? We're using our function so it has lexical scoping or whatever. So function, I'm going to say return this. And it's complaining like fuck. Yeah, okay, we don't care about that. Can I quick fix? Yeah, we don't give a fuck. If that's the right way. Function, curly. So we have drop function equals. Maybe that's the issue. It's an int array, so this we do 1, 3. You can probably hear my dog barking. Unexpected token on line 11. It is curved brackets. Why can't we add to the prototype? I don't know, fucking add a. Well, I don't think I think the console loggers just gave up on me completely. So we're gonna say that. So that equals that, and that's going to be the first item in the array, which doesn't exist, but it's not telling me why. Oh, to be instance of 2 equal. Okay, so that passed. The login doesn't seem to work. So this, in fact, it does work. So I can say .log this. Okay, I don't know why the fuck that stopped working, because that box can be like this at times. So we have our prototype method called drunk, which is a function that has this. This is the array it's currently being done on. But we're also passing an index. So I assume then we say index, and we just grab our logic from at, paste that in. Our test is going to fail because drunk, it does exist, but it's not returning what it's meant to return. So now we can delete the fact that that exists, and we can instead say dot drunk and then let's fix up the rest of our tests. So get rid of that. That needs to get rid of. If we fix this up, we've now recreated the Array.at method with 4 lines of code. I want to say like 5 maybe with this statement, which shows you that you can build your own thing without moving fucking lines of files around, because you're just constantly moving shit around. So dot drunk, open our brackets. You can hear me frantically smashing this fucking Apple keyboard. What did I do? Bracket. Where's the closing? Oh no, they're complaining because they're failing. They're not complaining because of syntax errors, which would make more sense if they only did that for syntax errors. But I'm not gonna shit over VS Code. Not VS Code. Fucking Code Sandbox. That needs another. Does that need a bracket? Yeah. And then we're going to do the same here. Array dot drunk okay, so they're all failing. Array RAR is not defined. Oh yes, because I forgot. We just blindly copy and paste this code in, so it's going to be this and it's going to be this and this, and they're all passing. So we have built the new JavaScript Array.at method with getting rid of this. I don't think we need the export, we can just import it. So we're looking at a total of 7 lines of code, 6 if we take away that padded line. So we've managed to rebuild that method. As far as I can understand, like obviously the real one probably has a low level code optimization that does a lot more shit than I'm fucking thinking about. But I think this is cool. I'm gonna jump back in if I can get this right. So I think this is awesome, like kind of like thinking about how under the hood functions work, how we can deal with them, how we work with them. Have a little drink. It's very awesome. Thanks to everyone who watched along and kind of followed the journey. This is one of these I'm probably not going to publish on NPM because there's no point. There's a native method, you should be using the native method. It's probably optimized better than what I've fucking done. But it just shows you that you can build the native methods with what you have right now, and hopefully that opens your eyes into like, this thing doesn't exist right now. I could probably build it myself, and this is why tools like Lodash and Ramda and RxJS are so popular, because they just obfuscate having to build this yourself, but it is not that hard, and JavaScript is JavaScript. But thank you very much, great to be back, and I will hopefully keep this regular.